Greetings, my name is Beth Weber, and I am the chairman for Naval Services FamilyLine, and I get the distinct honor and pleasure of kicking off the first of a three-part series entitled the Mustang Spouse Symposium. It is such an honor to be bringing this to you. This fall, we were embarking upon our strategic plan, which will be unveiled next month. And we discovered that this was a critical need. This topic came up again and again, and we couldn't wait. We wanted to seize the moment. We recognized the opportunity and the need, and we took advantage of that. So this is the first of a three-part series. There'll be Meet the Detailers in February, and also there'll be Mustang Monday through the month of March. Naval Services FamilyLine is a 56-year-old all-volunteer nonprofit that seeks to empower sea surface spouses to meet the challenges of the military lifestyle through education, resources, and mentoring. And this program does just that. It's important to us that military spouses make those important connections and build community. So thank you so much for checking us out, joining us. And we hope that you will continue on this journey through March and learn more about this amazing community, whether you're in the community or you want to learn more about it. Thank you so much. Take care.
Welcome to the Navy Mustang Spouse Symposium, brought to you by the Continuum of Resources and Education, a Naval Services FamilyLine program. We're excited you've joined us today for this unique look at the transition from an enlisted Navy sailor to a commissioned naval officer. My name is Danielle Newald. I've been a spouse of 16 years and part of the Mustang community for the last decade. I'm also joined today by Samantha Collins, who's been a Navy spouse for the past 7 years and a part of the Navy Mustang community for the past 2. Throughout our presentation, you might find some slides that you would like to retain for later use. You're welcome to screenshot anything you may see, or they'll be available for your use at a later date. We're so excited that you're here to join us today. Welcome, and we hope you enjoy the ride. So what is a Navy Mustang? The term Mustang is used to describe a prior enlisted U.S. naval officer. It's usually in reference to an officer who has been selected and commissioned as a limited duty officer or a chief warrant officer. However, prior enlisted naval officers who commissioned via other pathways have used the term as well in recent years. So a little bit more about a Mustang history. The term Mustang originated just prior to World War II. It originated with the Navy. However, other branches now use the term as well to describe prior enlisted officers. The term Mustang is just what it describes, a wild Mustang horse, not a thoroughbred. Much like a wild Mustang horse that can be broken but never fully tamed, a Mustang officer is always thought to retain a bit of the wild streak. In the same respect, a Mustang is thought to be smarter, more capable, and with better survival instincts than thoroughbreds. The parallels between wild Mustang horses and Mustang naval officers are used in complementary terms in most present-day situations. So these are some of the common avenues to commissioning that we've identified for our program. We recognize that it's not the only avenues, but the ones we've decided to talk about today. So we split these into 2 categories, restricted line officers and unrestricted line officers. Unrestricted line officers are those who are eligible through advancement to hold command of a seagoing vessel, whereas restricted line officers are not. So the programs for each of these that we will be highlighting are the limited duty officer, chief warrant officer, the medical enlisted commissioning program, the Seaman to Admiral program, officer candidacy school, and the Naval Academy. Waivers for commissioning packages. So each commissioning program is very unique, with specific professional, academic, and physical requirements, age restrictions, and time in service. In some cases, sailors may apply for waivers for specific line items. So let's just say that your sailor was a year or 2 over the age restriction for the program that they are interested in. They can apply for a waiver, and they may or may not be accepted for exemption. Sailors are responsible for knowing requirements, including waivers that may be required, and can follow up with their community managers and detailers for further information and instructions. Samantha's going to talk to us a little bit about a limited duty officer and the chief warrant officer program. Take it away, Samantha.
Thanks, Danielle. Yes, the limited duty officer, otherwise known as LDO. They're technical managers. LDOs are Naval Line or Staff Corps officers that progressively advance within board technical fields related to their former enlisted ratings. LDOs fill leadership and management positions from the ensign to the captain level that require technical backgrounds and skills not attainable through normal development within other officer designators. LDOs serve as, but are not limited to, DIVOs, department heads, OICs, XOs, and COs. So here are some of our career designators for LDOs. This is a great slide to go ahead and screenshot or wait till later to download. So you have surface, and you can see underneath all the career designators: nuclear submarine, aviation, general line, staff, and information warfare. Moving on to Chief Warrant Officer, otherwise CWOs. They're technical specialists. CWOs are naval officers that possess extensive experience and knowledge to direct the most difficult and exacting operations with a given occupational specialty. Although intended primarily as technical specialists, CWOs can also serve as DIVOs, department heads, and OICs. CWO assignments are repetitive in nature. Chiefs, senior chiefs, and frocked master chiefs commission automatically to CWO2. Master chiefs commission to CWO3 regardless of time and grade. And then WO1s are appointed. So just like the LDO slide, this is for CWO, career designators. Once again, this is a great slide if you want to go ahead and screenshot. Moving left to right, you have surface, nuclear submarine, aviation, general line, and information warfare. So LDO and CWO fiscal year 22, some statistics for you. For the fiscal year of 22, there were 1,587 applications for LDO. That's 18% or 272 sailors that were actually selected. The average age was 31 with 12 years of service. There were 817 CWO applications. That's 26% or 231 sailors that were selected. Their average age was 35 with 17 years of service.
Thank you so much, Samantha. We really enjoyed learning about the LDO and CWO pathways to commissioning. Now let's look at a few more. We have the Seaman to Admiral program up first. The selected sailors are provided up to $10,000 per year, plus pay, housing, allowance, and benefits. And this goes towards tuition, books, and other expenses for completing a bachelor's degree. Sailors participate in 8 weeks of training at the Naval Science Institute en route to their designated university, and they also participate in the Navy ROTC program at their designated university as well. They may commission as an unrestricted or restricted line officer, depending on community selection, and they're eligible for advancement as command in the unrestricted line officer category. Annually, we have about 50 sailors selected for the Seaman to Admiral program every year. Next up, the Medical Enlisted Commissioning Program. This is a commissioning pathway to enter the medical community as a nurse. Applicants must be at least 20 years of age and must commission prior to their 42nd birthday. For the fiscal year 21, there were 30 sailors and 3 alternates selected to participate in the MESTEP program, so it is highly selective. And selection results are generally in early January or around the first of the year. Next up is Officer Candidate School. Navy OCS is one of 4 officer training schools located in Newport, Rhode Island. It consists of a 13-week course designed to prepare individuals with a working knowledge of the Navy and prepare them for a commission in the United States Navy. Candidates are trained and prepared with foundations in leadership, profession of arms, fitness, and academics. Last but certainly not least, we have the Naval Academy. Yes, we have sailors every year that commission through the Naval Academy that were prior enlisted. Each year, the U.S. Naval Academy accepts up to 170 non-merit active and reserve personnel appointments to the Academy. Now, an appointment does not guarantee admission to the Academy, and selected personnel are high-performing in academics, physical fitness, career performance, and leadership. Sailors must have the endorsement from their commanding officer. Upon completion of the Naval Academy and concurrent training, graduates are eligible to commission as either restricted or unrestricted line officers based on their community selection. All right, we've talked about the pathways to commissioning. Now Samantha's going to tell you a little bit about the fun stuff, the commissioning ceremony.
Yes, let's get this party started. So this is the fun part, commissioning ceremony. Some sailors can have their commissioning ceremony planned with extensive support and guidance from their respective command. Others may be mostly responsible for planning their commissioning ceremony. It's okay if you don't have the help from the command. Say your sailor is deployed. My sailor was deployed when my husband commissioned. It's a little stressful, but what isn't in life? It's okay, and just go with the flow. Each will differ by case-to-case basis. Commissioning ceremonies can range from a small, intimate affair all the way up to a large-scale event at a venue. So this is another great slide that you can feel free to screenshot. Ceremony samples order of events. Some may opt to use this, some may not. Just depends, once again, on how large scale or small you want to have your commissioning ceremony. Your first salute. The first salute dates the 19th century that requires newly commissioned officers to give a silver dollar to the recipient of their first salute. Navy tradition dictates that a newly commissioned officer buys their first salute and they earn subsequent salutes by gaining respect of their subordinates. The tradition of buying the first salute is also a way of showing respect for their higher enlisted personnel who has helped them become the naval officer that they're commissioning. Traditionally, the sailors use an Eisenhower silver dollar. However, supply of such has dwindled over the years, and any silver dollar will suffice in the present day. These are some typical wardroom events. When your service member becomes part of the wardroom, they will have hails and farewells. This is an event that welcomes incoming officers, but also says goodbye to the officer that they are replacing. This event, while we do welcome the incoming officer, it primarily focuses on the outgoing officer. We have dining ins and dining outs. Dining ins are typically just for the service member. Dining outs are where the service member can invite a guest, whether that is husband, wife, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, guest of their choice. There's Navy balls and celebrations, seasonal events, and change of commands and other ceremonies. So this is event attire and service dress equivalent. So on the far left, you have all the service member uniforms, from their most classy one all the way down to their regular working uniform. You have first spouses. In the second column, male and female. A good thing to remember is the higher the bow tie, the longer the dress. This is another slide that was great to screenshot. Dining etiquette. So, wait for the guest of honor or highest ranking officer to begin eating before you start. Start from the outside utensil and work your way in. Consume alcohol in moderation with respect of the event and the attendees. Always remember, salt and pepper walk together. Use the restroom or take breaks at designated times and areas, and don't leave a guest speaker unless it's an emergency. Wait to leave until the guest of honor or highest ranking officer has departed. In events like this, it's great just to follow the leader.
All right, thank you, Samantha. We're going to shift focuses a little bit here. We've talked a little bit about the pathways. We've talked about some of the fun ceremonies and different events that we might get to attend. But there's a few more things that we'd like to highlight in our presentation today. One of those being the financial changes that your sailor may experience. So as your sailor transitions from enlisted to officer, one of the big impacts in your family and in this new lifestyle is the financial changes. And that might include the introduction of mess bills or wardroom dues, differences in uniform allowances and other specialty pays. You might even find a difference in how your household goods allowances are changing. And sometimes we find that in some of the communities that your household good allowance may initially go down until your sailor advances again in rank, just depending on where you what you commissioned at, and which pathway you took to commissioning. And so let's highlight a few of these. So the mess bills. So when your sailor was an enlisted Navy sailor and they were on sea duty, you probably remember that their BAS, or basic allowance for subsistence, went into their paycheck and it came right back out. You never really saw it. But as an officer or a member of the wardroom, officers are required to make payment back to the command for any meals they consume. So their BAS is deposited in full into their paycheck each month. And if they are in port, then they make payment back to the wardroom for the meals they consume. If they are underway, however, they are automatically charged for 3 meals a day. They may also expect some wardroom dues to pop up, and some wardrooms have a buy-in amount or a monthly due that is due every month. And it's just a good idea to go ahead and find out when you check into a new command, are there wardroom dues? How much are they? Are they annually or monthly? And do we need to plan accordingly for that? Wardroom dues will vary by your commands, and they're used at the discretion of the wardroom for things like gifts. Maybe someone is departing and they are buying a gift for that individual, or maybe there's a social event that they might want to hold and they want to cut down the cost for individuals, so they tap into some of the wardroom dues, or something else might come up that they designate that they use those for. Like I said, it varies by each command. And then it's good to remember that there's no annual uniform allowance. So previously, you might remember that your enlisted sailor got a uniform allowance annually on the anniversary of their enlistment. As an officer, unfortunately, you are responsible for 100% of your uniform needs and purchases. And then there might be some changes again in CPay and special pays that you were experiencing before you commissioned versus now as a commissioned officer. And so it's just a good idea to read up on those and find out exactly what you're entitled to versus what you can expect every month, so you can plan accordingly. We also want to highlight and talk about managing stress in the officer community. We know that this is a whole brand new lifestyle, and sometimes that can bring on some stress. Maybe your sailor is working just increased working hours way beyond what you ever experienced before, and it's just a lot to take in. Whether it's just you as the spouse, or you maybe have a larger family, or even just a couple kids. Whatever it is, sometimes those increased working hours can be difficult for everybody to adjust to. There might be changes in stress levels due to the operational commitments or the op tempo of your community. Or maybe your spouse came from the submariner community and now they're finding themselves in the surface community, and it's just a whole new lifestyle altogether. These are all going to change and affect you each individually and differently. So just be prepared to know that it's okay to feel a little bit of stress in these moments. The thing we want to focus on is finding the right avenues for support and when to know when to reach out for help if you need it. The last thing we want to address in regards to stress is the pressure and expectations to be involved in events outside of normal working hours. We know that as you join this new community, sometimes there might seem like there's all these new events or things going on that you might want to be involved with, and we just want you to know that there's no obligation on family members to commit more than they are comfortable with. You must find a good work-life balance, and that is key to managing your stress and overcommitment. If you want to be super involved in every single event that pops up, that's okay. But if you don't, that's totally okay too. We know that this life is different for everybody, and everything is going to be just a balance of what you can handle each individually. So understand that some seasons in life are going to be busier and others are going to be less busy based on the command and mission needs. And it's just a real ebb and flow environment. And you have to find what works best for you and your family. Know when and where to seek help for yourself and your sailor if stress becomes too much. These are 3 of the programs that we've highlighted in our presentation today that we hope that you'll reach out to if you find that the stress is just becoming too much for you. The first one is Navy chaplains. Our Navy chaplains are located worldwide on every single base, and they're 100% confidential. What does that mean? You can tell them anything, and they can't tell anyone. It's their job to listen. They're a great resource for help, and we hope that you'll reach out to them if you need to. You don't have to belong to a certain faith to reach out to a chaplain, and they don't even have to be the chaplain assigned to your command or even your base. Maybe you live in an area where there's multiple bases and you feel comfortable going to a base that you're not normally known at or frequent often, that's okay. The Navy chaplains are there to help you. Another resource for help and counseling is Military One Source. They can arrange free counseling, both in-person and virtual worldwide. If you live in Timbuktu, they can find you a counselor if you need one. Maybe it's through the phone or chat or computer or Zoom, or maybe you go visit somebody in person. Military One Source is there to help. They can arrange up to 10 free counseling sessions without any kind of medical referral. So they're a great resource for help any way you look at it. And lastly, Fleet and Family Support Centers. They're available on most of our bases with access to certified counselors. In fact, Fleet and Family Support Center should be one of your first stops at every base because they just have a plethora of information even outside of the counseling realm. We hope if you need them, you'll reach out to one of these three resources for help if you ever find yourself in need. Lastly, we have some more resources for information and support in the Mustang community. First and foremost, Naval Services Family Line. That's us. We're bringing you this program today, and we hope that you'll join us for one of our many programs, whether it's our publications and Sea Leg series, or Compass, or Core, or any of our spouse programs. We hope that you'll visit us at www.nsfamilyline.org for more information and a program or resource near you. Secondly, My Navy HR. This is brought to you directly by the Navy, and it's a great resource to read up on information about what's next in your sailor's career. There is so much information on this website, whether it be about finances or career timelines or pathways. There's just so much there. While it's primarily intended for the sailor, sometimes as a spouse, you just want to know what's next. And this is a great resource to check out. Lastly, but certainly not least, we're all on social media these days. And it seems one of the best ways and easiest ways for us to connect. There's a great Mustang spouse community on Facebook called Navy Mustang Spouses. You'll have to answer a couple questions to get into the group to identify and verify your identity. But once you're in, there's a plethora of spouses that are willing and ready to help you and support you as you take these next steps in the Navy Mustang spouse community, whether it's planning a commissioning ceremony, understanding your next orders, or just needing support from someone who gets it. We hope you'll join us over there too. Thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of the Navy Mustang Spouse Symposium. We hope you'll come back on 23 February 2022 at 1300 Eastern Standard Time for a live conversation with our community managers and detailers in Millington, Tennessee, brought to you in tandem by the Navy League. Pre-registration is required, so be on the lookout for the link as it's posted in the next few days. Thank you and have a great day.